Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Suspity Truder, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. And to be precise, the brand new DLC, The Shadow and the Blade, which I've managed to get my hands on just a little bit early, because bloody hell, Warhammer 2 is... it's big these days. They've been adding a lot of stuff to that over the last 2 years. Like in the big Mortal Empires campaign, which is the combined map of Warhammer 1 and 2, there is a slightly ludicrous number of campaigns available these days. But today we're here to talk about the new stuff, because my favourite faction and yours too, the best, most exciting, sexy race in the entire Warhammer universe, have done very well out of this DLC. I am talking, of course, about the Skaven. Also, I think like the Dark Elves got some new emo kid with stupid hair or something, I don't know. Okay, I'm being mean. Let's start off with Malice's campaign, because the Dark Elves did get some really fun new additions going on here. So, welcome to the new Dark Elf Vortex campaign. This here is Malice Edgelord, and he is quite the flipping drama queen. You know what? I'm just going to let him speak for himself.
Losing my grip. I can see the void. Must stay in control.
So yes indeed, he's a little bit on the dramatic side. And the official reason he's that dramatic is because an insane demon is living inside his soul. Or at least that's what he tells his mum when she asks him why he hasn't gotten a job and moved out yet. Still, the demon most definitely has its uses, so how about we just jump over here, deal with the Tower of the Sun, and we'll discuss what the demon does for him. And of course, as is traditional, you do start off with some of the new units in the DLC. So, say hello to Scourge Runner chariots. These guys are rather fun. They're basically, yeah, anti-large armor-piercing chariots that have the advantage of really high speed. Speed of 84, very, very respectable indeed. Together with, yeah, 97 missile damage, of which a very large portion is armor-piercing with a bonus versus large. Plenty of ammunition too, so these guys can keep firing for some flipping time. Decent armor and health pool as well, so yeah, these guys can definitely take a few knocks. They're pretty damn solid. I also do rather like the design that they've only got one massive central wheel, which strikes me as incredibly impractical, because if either of these guys just put a single foot wrong, they'll be tangled in the wheel, the chariot won't be able to go anywhere, and they'll be dead. But screw it, whatever, it does look pretty badass, sure. And second, a really good solid all-rounder. This thing is really damn nice. The Blood Rack Medusa. This thing does a little bit of everything. Missile attack is really, really damn nice. 375 damage, 110 range. Very respectable. And on top of that, plenty is armor piercing, explosive armor piercing. So yeah, does a very good job against armor. Good against infantry as well, and in case it gets caught in the melee, weapon strength for melee is very solid indeed. 260 armor piercing, 130 base on top of that. Good all-round stuff. Decent health pool as well. A bit let down by the fact that, yeah, only has armor of 30, has no shield. So, might be able to get picked apart by range a little bit, but really solid all-rounder. Here we go, speak of the devil, some Illyrian Reaver archers want to come and say hello to me. Well, it sure is unfortunate, my brand new chariots are 1, anti-large, and 2, have greater flipping range. So let's just start skimming around here, see if we can just get on top of you. Absolutely beautiful. So a couple of shots start going in, and that is going to start doing some good hit point damage to them straight away. Love it. If we can, just get the Medusa in range too. See what we can do. Yeah, we should tear apart these guys nice and fast. So Medusa goes in for lovely attack there. Hits bloody hard. And those Reavers are starting to take a lot of punishment very quickly. Right, they're starting to move forward. So let's get my cavalry and whatnot moving around. Get my chariots around the back. And with, yeah, this lovely high speed... they're not going to be doing anything to me. Disable skirmish mode. I can control that manually. They can just skirt around the back and do whatever the hell they feel like. This cavalry is... yeah, Cold War cavalry. Never been impressed with it, to be honest. But screw it. Should do the job right over here. Put you into attack mode. Just go and attack these guys. And... oh, hello over there. Have you decided to crowd round right here? Well, that's good. Because I've got a black arc nearby. So this is going to end well for you. And as for Malice himself, I can't help but notice, we've got a prince over there. So Malice, you've got yourself some fun abilities, like say, the Blood Price. Significant increase in weapon damage, very, very nice indeed. For minor damage to self, lasts for a very impressive 90 seconds. So, Go on. You just actually do that to yourself. Start going in that direction. Stay away from him if you'd be so kind. There we go. You just get over here. So he's going to do, you know, pretty darn well in combat. But what we really probably want to do is say, I don't know, turn him into a demon. Because he can transform, completely changing his flipping stats. And also on top of that, his abilities. So now we can start tearing the absolute hell out of things. With, yeah, some lovely new abilities here. Reaper of Souls. Damage to combatants, absorbs hit points from enemies, strong versus a single combatant. Alternatively, yes, Bloodstorm. Explosion that does not affect friendly troops, poor versus large combatant, weak versus armor, plus 22% to damage resistance. Very, very nice indeed. So yeah, he's useful in a wider melee, got some good abilities. Very, very nice indeed. How are you guys doing, by the way? You guys are doing alright, but to be honest, yeah, let's just keep laying down some more support on you stupid losers. We'll just basically bombard you. How are we doing over here, by the way? You guys are doing a good job just seeing off all of this business. That's absolutely fine. How are you guys doing? You guys are seeing off all of this. Get over here, knock out these archers. You've got the armor to just stand up and do that by yourself. Meanwhile, yeah, the Bloodrat Medusa is just going to, excuse me, go into melee. Hit these guys. You'll absolutely tear them apart. Love it. In fact, let's just see how strong this is. So you just use your explosion now. And... okay, how are you doing? In all fairness, okay, we don't really know. He's naffing off, but it looks pretty badass. It looks great. By the way, once you actually become the demon, you can't really stop being the demon. At that point, you're just a demon until the end of the fight. Anyway, just need to take out this infantry over here, but it's starting to fall apart. Chariot's doing a good job back over here. Cavalry's chasing these guys off. You get over here and momentarily, hang on, I see something over here. How about we do a great big friendly explosion? No, come back here. Malice Edgelord is not done with you yet. And explode. Lovely. So, plenty of them have been sent flying. Love it. And there's still a handful of Sea Guard around here, but not if we drop literally flipping everything on their heads there isn't. Beautiful. And when you take your first city, this is where things get interesting, because Malice Edgelord is in fact the first lord, I believe, who starts with a nice split empire, because you're down over here in this very corner of the map, but you get a choice. Either you can just focus down in this corner of the map and not worry about Nagarond for a while, so in which case you just say, you know what, I'm willing to sell my home back in Nagarond, absolutely fine, 20,000 gold up front, and for 5 turns, growth plus 50. Very, very useful indeed. But in all fairness, most of those 5 turns will be used up before we actually take over the first province, so I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. Instead, no, we are going to keep everything under control and actually keep our starting city on the very far side of the map. So yeah, this is us over here in kind of like, I don't know, Warhammer Mauritius or something. So if we just actually zoom out a bit, go over here, past all of this as well. Need to go a little bit further up. Yeah, pass straight by Ulthuan, all of that good stuff. Yes, here we are. On the very far side of the map, I've got my own city. And it's actually a really, really flipping nice city. Comes with its own special, unique building that generates, yeah, good amount of trade goods, good amount of basic income. Very, very nice stuff indeed. And comes with its own little starting army here as well. So yeah, you've got this rather weird situation where you're waging a campaign simultaneously on both sides of the map, which can be very, very fun indeed, because of course, yeah, there's nothing to stop you coming over here, settling this, fighting these guys, diddly-diddly-dee, and of course, yeah, having a little starting area up here does mean you're nice and close by if you decide you want to make a play for the Sword of Cain, which is certainly an option. Also, the guy you start over with here in Hagreath is the new general sort you get in this DLC. So say hello to the Beastmaster, who you probably won't be too surprised to learn specialises in units that have, you know, beasts in them. So bonus attack for cold ones, recruitment duration down for all that sort of business too. Obviously the new Medusas, that's the War Hydras and the Charybdis, diddly-diddly-dee. Other than that, nothing too dramatic. He does have 2 fun mount options, Scourge Runner chariots we just saw, or Manticores. I mean, he might be fun on certain occasions if you just want to put together a bit of a gimmick army where it's nothing but monsters, but not 100% convinced by this guy. Malice's own skills tree is really interesting, by the way, because of course, he's got abilities that are just for Malice, and abilities that are just for the demon, which is kind of cool. So yeah, the waking is Malice's stuff, so he can actually just, yeah, give himself various bonuses, but they only work while he's Malice. Alternatively, the slumber's for the demon, so as a result of that, yeah, makes you much more ferocious if and when you choose to transform, such as causing terror by default. In terms of balancing the two against each other, basically the way it works is the demon's really good in a fight, but not so good at the campaign, and vice versa. So you begin with full possession on your special possession meter up here. So as a result of that, you can turn into a demon. Get yourself 30% ward save, very nice indeed, but casualty replenishment rate down. Lords might lose loyalty. Apparently no one likes working for anyone that bloody dramatic. But anytime you want to, you can spend a bit of money drinking a potion to basically just get the demon to shut the hell up for a bit. So one potion gets you down to 0 right there, so neutral, marvellous. So in that case, you're not getting any major bonuses in battle, you can't turn into the demon anymore, but you're not really getting any major advantages to your campaign either. If I did another potion, however, I would actually go full on to -10, and as a result of that, I would have full control. So lords might now start gaining loyalty. Construction is cheaper than it would be. Public order is +10, which is flipping huge. And there's a new right, basically providing you with a massive army full of monsters, very useful for the Beastmaster of course, that you can only use while you're in full control. But, once again, you can't become a demon, and every single unit in your empire suffers -10 to melee attack, which is very significant. Sometimes, however, you might suddenly find you need to, you know, transform into a demon because you're in a bit of trouble and you could use the extra murder power. If that does happen, you can hit the allow full possession button once every 40 turns, taking you straight back up to full possession and giving you all your demonic powers. But of course, yeah, that comes with disadvantages to the campaign. So, let's get some local troops in production here. Fortunately, yeah, this place does actually have a port immediately, so I can get the Black Ark Corsairs with handbows out straight away. But there's another really big change, and arguably, even this is actually a pretty small thing, it might actually be one of the most significant changes to the wider campaign map in general, which is a seemingly small tweak to the way that the Black Arks work, because up to now, they've basically been floating cities that act as support to nearby Dark Elf armies. So, you know, they provide bombardment like we saw during that last battle. You can, of course, train troops on them, at which point any army can just get on board, grab the troops for themselves, get back ashore. Very useful stuff indeed, but that all just changed. Because now Black Arks are allowed to directly assault a city if it's on the coast. So that's pretty bloody huge, because up to now, you did sort of see Black Arks just bumbling around with nothing to do, but now they're allowed to actually attack and sack cities. That's going to cause a lot of trouble around the map. This will be particularly annoying to the Vampirates, who have a lot of coastal settlements, to Marcus in particular, because yeah, his campaign calls for him to take as many ports as possible. He is not going to enjoy these new Black Arks, and Ulfwan, of course, because of its donut shape, has a lot of coastline. So as a result of that, that is a lot of settlements. The Black Arks might suddenly be able to come in and start trashing. I mean, literally from my starting position here, I can see 3, and I haven't actually explored the map yet. So Tor Elisor, right here. Tower of the Stars, right here. There was another one right here. Serpent Coast, right there. Every single one of those immediately up for grabs by a Black Ark. So, yes indeed, Mr. Black Ark, how about you start training some troops? So on this occasion, I can start splitting up my forces. So, yeah, the Admiral over here can start moving in this direction to deal with the Tower of the Stars, while my main army just moves straight over to Tor Elisor. So that saves a lot of flipping time. So here we go, built myself a little army up on this little Black Ark, and now it can just go and take out a territory all by its flipping self. Just put it into normal stance mode, and now we could literally just go and assault a town. Absolutely flipping beautiful. So, here we go, we just disembark, and even though we were technically, you know, attacking from the sea, you just sort of attack from the land anyway, so whatever, eh? And yeah, we'll just put our lovely dread spears and bleak swords up front, just because they've got shields, that's lovely. Start just firing at those guys with our Admiral, spot on. And even though we actually, you know, are the crew of the Black Ark, we of course get the Black Ark support abilities regardless, which is just flipping beautiful. Here we go, straight up melee. These guys are now all pinned in place. So how about we just start dropping some lovely stuff from the skies. I love just basically dropping things from the skies. This is the nice thing about a Black Ark, but it's even nicer when you're literally supporting yourself. So there we go, nice easy campaign. You get your usual selection of options. So occupy, loosen, occupy, sack or raise. So these days, yeah, Black Arks can just act like normal armies, which is very, very cool indeed, if potentially terrifying, if, you know, you're not playing as a faction that gets access to the Black Arks, because I suspect they're about to start becoming a lot more dangerous. Now, you may notice, however, right now, I'm back up to -4, because naturally, over time, possession just starts creeping up, because, you know, the demon's trying to get out. So, just occasionally, you have to spend a bit of money topping that up, but, yeah, it gets more expensive as time goes by. So, let's take down the city. Unfortunately, the Bloodrack Medusa has one more trick up her sleeve, which is she gets to attack gatehouses. She's actually a siege unit. So yeah, she can just knock down the gates, which is flipping magnificent. So we're just going to give her a bit of cover with these here Dread Spears, who are very, very good at taking arrow fire, because yeah, they've got the silver shields right there. Lovely. And now, she can just start knocking down the flipping gates. Here we go, Dread Spears and Bleak Swords up on the walls. They'll do a very, very good job indeed. Gate is starting to take some damage. Admittedly, the Medusa doesn't do a huge amount of damage. It's not the fastest thing in the world. And yeah, the Chariots are trying to help, but yeah, it's not the best angle for helping out, to be honest. May as well just have Malice standing right next to the wall here, because yeah, he can actually pass on the Demon's Curse for a bit of melee defense down, leadership down for these guys. Just have my guys absolutely tear apart the Sea Guard while we're here. And there we go, after a very slow grinding fight, the doors are now open, meaning Malice can just basically come in and take care of all of this by himself. Right, you're anti-large, just go and deal with the Reavers, please. Malice, you come over here, murder the princess, and you can just help out with that business too, to be honest. You just, yeah, basically get over here, and no, actually, just start spitting at her, that's fine too. There we go, lovely. Right, Malice, get over there, finish her off, please. You should do very, very... Oh, yeah. Look at that. Malice is not kidding around. He is not kidding around at all. And just for fun, let's pay the blood price and start absolutely flipping slaughtering her. So, there we go. And 2,000. Come on, Malice. Actually flipping hit her, please. That'll do. Down to 1,300. Marvellous. So that princess is already fleeing, and in fact, wow, she just fled so hard, she destroyed an arch. Marvellous. Okay, with her taken care of, the rest of my troops can now just get in over here. Is anyone even... Who's even guarding the bit at the back? No one's guarding the bit at the back. Okay, so just send some of the hand bows to go and take care of that, please. And my cold ones should be able to help deal with the Illyrian Reavers. Absolutely lovely. The dark side of my current possession, of course, being I physically can't turn into a demon. However, I can actually use, yeah, Demon's Curse, which is very, very nice indeed. Minor damage to self. Again, minor damage to self, but I feel like I'm okay for now, so screw it. Demon's Curse. Screw the lot of you. There we go. That's a bit of an impact on the leadership. Right flipping there. You guys just keep fighting, please. Keep fighting. And screw it. Blood price as well. We got 20 seconds of that. Start just chopping your way through some spearmen. And, oh yeah. I think that'll do the job nicely. Here we go. There's a noble on the field right now. But, oh, look at that. The Medusa doing beautiful work. Just spitting at that noble. Marvellous. Meanwhile, up on the walls, yep, Malice Edgelord just wins it all by himself. So Taurus all falls to me, and with that, I have got the entire province, including, yeah, 3 ports straight away. That's a good amount of money coming in immediately. Very, very nice indeed. But we've also got the final mechanic that's just woken up in the nick of time. Absolutely marvellous, which is, yeah, the demon that lives inside you just occasionally gives you, missions. But the demon's a bit mad, and so are you, so they can be on the odd side. So if you personally kill 4,550 enemies in battle, apparently I've already killed 941, marvellous, then I just get myself a warp gem, together with, yeah, possession going up by 2, because I'm doing the bidding of a mad god. Still, warp gem is not bad. Cooldown minus 20% for all spells, miscast base chance minus 15%, winds of magic up, very, very nice indeed. Alternatively, just declare war with Harganeth, no particular reason, just do it. And then you get yourself 5,600 gold, which in the early game, very significant. Ah, yes, and one last thing as well. Don't forget, the one unit we haven't shown off yet because you don't get to start with one, which is... hang on, you're over here, aren't you? Yes, the Bloodrack Shrine, which is basically just one of those Medusas, but chilling out on top of an altar. Works a bit like a Plague Furnace or a Mortars engine. Basically, just casts a beneficial effect around it. On this occasion, -4 leadership, -7 melee defense to your enemies. Meanwhile, yeah, you get the inverse. +7 melee attack, +4 leadership. Very, very nice indeed, though maybe not as nice as a Plague Furnace to my mind. So that there is the really interesting divided campaign of Malice Edgelord. And yeah, in Mortal Empires, it's very, very similar indeed. Once again, he gets to start with this territory over here, but also, he's in the very, very bottom corner of the map. So, yeah, very cool little campaign, I won't deny. The Black Ark thing especially, that's going to be interesting to see, because I suspect that's going to have a very big impact on everybody else's campaigns. But now, on to the main event, the exciting one, because the Skaven are my favourite race inside this game already, and they just picked up one a hell of a new clan. So, Clan Eshin, the Assassins, now have their own leader, their own campaign, their own mechanics, diddly-diddly-dee. There is only one downside, which is their leader is this guy. I'm not saying he's not good, he's really damn good. The problem is, I can't figure out for the life of me how the bloody hell you're supposed to pronounce that. Like, KCH, that does not work for me. Claire's saying it's eminently manageable. I can't figure it out. Like, it's got to be something like Snitch, but I can't quite get my tongue around it, so screw it, I'm just going to be calling him Deathmaster Snitch, and that's going to be much easier. So, while Malice is messing around down here, having fun with his new Black Arcs, we're up here with the Deathmaster, and he's brilliant. I absolutely love this campaign. I love it to flipping bit. It's beautiful, because you're playing as a clan of assassins, meaning you've got access to the brand new scheming mechanic. So let's say for the sake of argument, I need some money. So, because I'm Clan Eshin, I can just do things like that. So I'm going to say, how about we do a small heist? And how about my new Eshin Sorcerer, we'll get to him in a second, don't you worry, how about he goes and does that? And then we just pick a site, there we go, these elven ruins over here. So, 1,000 gold from that for me, and its income goes down 10% for 5 turns. Very, very nice indeed. So, if I just push that button right now, that just happens. It cannot fail. It is guaranteed to succeed, but I can only do that once every 10 turns, and I can only do this at all because it's got a cost of 1 scheme, which is your new unique mechanic during this campaign. So right now I can only do 1 scheme at a time, but if I were to say, oh, I don't know, go and check in with the Night Lord, just clear this out by the way, clear out you as well, there we go, Night Lord say so, go find Seek Great Power, I could basically spend 10 food, together with keeping Snitch himself off the map for 2 turns while he just goes and checks in with the Night Lord, and as a result of that, I would now have 2 schemes available. But I can't do that until Snitch is level 5. So yeah, you've got to keep Snitch just leveling up and up and up to have more and more schemes available, so you can just have more schemes going on, and there are a lot of schemes, by the way. Like, an awful lot of schemes, like a beautifully large number of schemes. In no particular order, get yourself free money, get yourself free food, get yourself a free new item, have visibility of a settlement for the next 5 turns, cause leadership penalties for any army of your choosing, get your research rate up by 20%, cause a rebellion in a settlement, damage an army for 10% of its entire health, visibility of an entire province for 20 flipping turns. And then we start getting into the really big one. So, just take over a Skaven settlement of my choosing without a battle. Take over a Skaven undercity without a battle. Wound any lord, guaranteed. No exceptions. Because there are plenty of lords out there, no matter how good your assassin is, you just won't be able to take them down because they've just got too many upgrades or they're legendary or whatnot. So, you can just remove a legendary lord from the battlefield whenever you bloody well choose, which is amazing. And then we get into the special elite ones just for Snitch, and these are just, to be honest, slightly ludicrous. So, destroy every single building in a settlement, leaving only the main settlement building behind. So if, for example, the enemy has built up a very large number of buildings that give them extra garrison, and that's causing a problem, screw it, we're going to burn those buildings down, no more flipping garrison. Alternatively, Sewer Pestilence. This is basically just a plague thing you'd normally have to do a rite for, but screw it, you can just do it anyway. And then we get into the truly ridiculous. Snitch just removes a faction leader, causing any given faction to be overthrown by rebels. Now, I'm going to need to dig into precisely how that works and what are the limitations on it, because that does sound absolutely cocking insane. But of course, you do need to upgrade yourself a lot before you can get to that, because, yeah, you need 4 schemes simultaneously. I've only got 1. So we're stuck with the small stuff for now, but there's a bunch of really nice stuff, like, say, burglarize, free item on turn 1. I won't say no. So, Sorcerer, you do that. We'll burglarize these here elven ruins. So we're just going to say, yeah, make that flippin' happen. There's no cost to it either. It just happens. So, what did we get right there? 1 scroll of Black Horror, rare. So now I can just give that Sorcerer a brand new scroll, letting him do major magical damage. Bloody lovely. Hilariously, that doesn't even burn his movement points for the turn, so we can just go and join up with this army and we can just crack on dealing with these here humans. Absolutely love it. So you just embed yourself right in here, and yes indeed, we should probably go introduce the new units, because it's an interesting bunch. Here we go, we're Skaven, so we got ourselves an ambush here. Always do enjoy an ambush, and yes indeed, we've got a lot of humans to take out on this occasion. So, what tools do we have available to take care of it? Because you might look at this army and think, wow, that doesn't look very good. Yes, indeed, some of the new toys are really going to need to pull their weight. So, say hello to the Eshin Triads. These guys are not complicated. So, remember Death Runners from the main game. Infantry, move around pretty quickly. Not much in the way of armor, but have all sorts of really nice advantages, like, for example, the Weeping Blade. So if they actually attack an enemy, their armor goes right down, making them much softer going forward against either the Death Runners themselves or indeed anything else. These guys are basically completely identical, except they're anti-large. So Death Runners, but set them on larger targets. That's literally it. Absolutely fine. The Warp Grinders, however, are perhaps the oddest bloody unit that's ever been put into the game. Now, don't get too excited. I know they look really, really damn cool. And probably your eyes gone straight over to that their weapon strength. And you're thinking, wow, that's pretty damn good. 96 attack, 78 armor piercing damage. And these guys are a tier 2 unit. You can get them out really early. So you're probably thinking, wow, just toss them at a tough target. They will go to town. No. Do not allow them anywhere near anything. They have got problems. Like, for example, health pool, not very good. Melee attack of 20, very, very poor. Melee defense of 18, not great. Armor of 70 is fine if unspectacular. No shields whatsoever. These guys have a habit of dying in combat. So, if they've got massive armor-piercing damage, but they don't really actually, use it for anything, what's the point of them? Well, it's their rather nice abilities. You see, they can do a Warp Quake, which basically means inside that blue circle right there, they're going to start doing direct damage to any enemy. And it's not insignificant damage, so having them standing right behind a main battle line, if you can persuade your enemy to all cluster up, can be very, very useful indeed. That does good damage. Their other ability, meanwhile, is precisely the same. They do it affects enemies in the circle, but is arguably the more interesting one, especially when it comes to multiplayer and competitive play. Seismic Snare. Any enemy within that blue circle cannot move. Now, you've got to bear in mind, the whole point of Skaven is their strength lies in range, artillery, weapon teams, that sort of business. So, if the enemy's trying to get up close to you and you can literally say, hang on, no, you're just going to stand perfectly still for the next 13 seconds while my rattling guns just tear you apart, that can be very, very useful indeed. As for Snitch, he's an assassin. Unsurprisingly, get him on top of the enemy lord and let him go to town, except he's got a really fun twist to him. Scaling damage. The weaker the enemy lord is, the more damage you do. So if you can just actually soften the enemy lord up with a little bit of ranged fire before you actually move in to finish him off, Snitch is very, very good at finishing the job. If you just send him in one-on-one, however, sometimes he can struggle if he's expected to do a full duel from the beginning. Naturally, as an assassin, he's got Stalk, Weeping Blade, so he can cut his opponent's armor into pieces, which is absolutely lovely. Dodge, so he doesn't need to worry too much about being under fire if he gets caught behind enemy lines. Basically, yeah, he's an assassin, and he functions very well as one. And one more very nice thing about this campaign, by the way, your Night Runner slings have got some really nice armor-piercing damage. as indeed do, yeah, the Gutter Runners over here, hit surprisingly flipping hard. That is not bad at all. So, yeah, those guys might be hitting harder than you're expecting. Anyway, begin the battle. Deploy my Lord forward, because we want him to actually pick off their Lord sooner or later. Fire comes in, and, yeah, look at that. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. So, let's see what they're planning to do now. Just bring forward my Gutter Runners and my Night Runners. Bring forward the Triads. Because, yeah, what I really want is to pull their horses straight into all of this business. There we go. That's the stuff. By the way, my Sorcerer's got some Warp Stars. So how about you just toss some of that at them. So in we go, Magic Warp Star, and in come the Triads. Okay, so the Triads should be able to absolutely slaughter these guys, because that's their entire job. Their armor goes straight flipping down. Night Runners start tossing in all sorts of bits and pieces. And on the far side of the battlefield, Snitch wants to go straight for the Huntsman General. And look at that, the horses have already collapsed. They've just melted in the face of the Triads. Good. That is exactly what I wanted to see. So, you guys can start falling back. No problem with that whatsoever. Would you guys like to all get yourselves clustered up close by to any of this business? By the way, you guys start falling back, please. Start falling back. That's absolutely fine. You guys start getting this all into position. Here we go. So, my drills can now do their job. So, get over here and activate Warp Quake. So, just actually hold still for the time being. And just keep an eye on the damage here. On leadership and on health. That is not nothing. That is not flipping nothing at all. That unit is already broken. Absolutely lovely. So now, hello, have I actually been caught over here? Okay, I've been caught by these guys, but screw it, we should be able to murder them. I'm not too worried. I'm sure everything's going to be fine. So, what do we have next? Aha. You guys go into attack mode, go hunt down their archers, crossbowmen, whatever, I don't care. Right, and yeah, already their Huntsman General is looking dodgy. He's not happy about life. You guys are looking, aha, you guys looking like you're in a good position. Send some reinforcement infantry just to actually pin all of this down. How are you guys doing on? Oh, the cooldown on that's a bit excessive, by the way. Cooldown is a little bit on the excessive side. That's all absolutely fine. How are you guys doing? Yep, so the horses have been seen off. So now you go and hunt down this guy. And as he gets weaker and weaker, Snitch gets stronger and stronger. Look at that, like 500 right there. Another hit should see him off. His leadership's been shattered. Look at that. Tears him the flip apart. And with them already basically defeated, yeah, I was about to just send in the actual drills anyway, just to finish them off. So yeah, it's a powerful ability, but cooldown on it is a bit on the extreme side. So, that Sorcerer, he's got himself a weird bunch of abilities. So he starts off with, yeah, the basic Warp Stars. That's his basic spell. And from that you might think, okay, this guy's a bit of a damage dealer, because he starts off with a spell that's pretty powerful, that's just a direct damage magic missile sort of thing. But then he goes into a bit of an odd place, which is he does very, very little damage with his spells going forward. Veil of Shadows literally does no damage. It's a vortex spell that just sort of pushes enemies away. Again, for the Skaven, might actually be useful under certain circumstances, because sometimes you just want to keep the enemy away from your guns while you shoot them with said guns. However, this guy's very, very good at buffing. Armor of Darkness I particularly like, so yeah, 200 meters you can cast that, 33-second duration, plus 60 armor, 22% missile resist. That is good. That is really, really damn good. And when you start upgrading it, then it gets crazy, because that's just one unit right now. Upgrade it to the second tier, it's got a 40-meter effect range. So you can basically just cast that on the middle of your front line, and have a large chunk of your front line with plus 60 armor for 30 seconds. It's really damn nice. Other than that, he gets Toxic Rain, so whenever he's actually casting, he causes, yeah, a map-wide effect, which is reasonable, if not desperately spectacular. He gets Skid Sleep now, which other lords have had taken away from them. They get a different spell in its place, which is not spectacular. So he's the only person with access to Skid Sleep, which is kind of cool. And when you start upgrading him, he does get better in terms of straight-up damage dealing. So Brittle Bones, very good support spell indeed. So, once again, minus 40 melee defense, 24% speed down, vigor down. Again, if your objective is to keep the enemy at a distance, slowing them down, very good way of doing it. Stack that on top of suppression from rattling guns, you have got an enemy army moving very slowly towards your firing line. Especially as, once again, upgrade it, it's got an area of effect. Though if you're feeling bored of just providing support, Black Whirlwind seems to be a pretty darn decent direct damage vortex. Snitch also has possibly one of my favourite skills in the entire game. I absolutely love this. Sabotage and Unrest. So, basically, the moment he starts sieging down a territory, the enemy inside starts suffering attrition. Because in Warhammer 2, you have to wait a long flipping time for attrition to start digging in. So, yeah, that's really, really damn nice. I like it. And similar to what we just saw with the Warp Grinders, yeah, his ultimate special ability on his yellow combat track, Deathmaster's Sigil. So he can basically just say, hey, you, just hold still for the next 7 seconds while I, murder you, or set my guns on you, or get on top of you. Very, very useful. Okay, that's all I can do this turn with the army, so let's actually move back over to the city, because there's something very, very fun indeed over there. And I know this is really minor. This is the nerdiest, tiniest, most insignificant thing, but it warms my little heart, which is there is a tiny change to the building browser just for Clan Eshin, which if you know this game very well, you might spot immediately, which is the Hidden Lair has been moved down to a Tier 1 building. Normally, it's Tier 2, meaning the highest tier would be a Tier 4 building, but for Clan Eshin, and just for them, no other factions get this, it's down to Tier 1. And that means you can get yourself a full den of secrets in a miners settlement, because it's only at level 3, which is really, really damn cool. Other big change, because there's more and more flipping weapon teams in this game, they've had to expand out the arsenal chain. So these days, there is a weapon stump at level 2, weapon burrow at level 3, then at level 4, it's the arsenal. So these days, and this is available to all factions, not just Eshin, you can actually get yourself Warp Grinders and Warp Fire Throwers at Tier 2. Warp Fire Throwers at Tier 2 is quite frankly ludicrous. They are insanely strong, and that is really damn nice in the early game. That is definitely something to consider going forward, because every single clan has access to this new tree. Though there is also one nerf which I think is understandable, because Gutter Runner Poison were really, really damn powerful. These days, you can't train those unless you've got a Pestilent Knave in the same city, which is fair enough, I suppose. Also, just like Malice, and it feels, appropriate for an assassin and a guy called a Deathmaster, Snitch does have a special quest to kill 1,000 enemies in battle personally, and if he does, then he gets the Whirl of Weeping Blades, which is pretty bloody nice. So, yeah, you're going to be wanting him to get on with that at some point. In fact, as we've got to take over this little elven settlement already, well, actually, it's not elven. It's human, but it's like, an elven town, so it gets the architecture, which is nice, because elven ruins are pretty. I've got myself a little bit of a plan, which is, yeah, obviously, the vast majority of my army can be forward deployed, along with Snitch himself, so you guys just hang back here. I think we've actually got this one on this occasion. Here we go, there's the enemies. Let's just start sending these guys forward, and if I can, I'd like all of them to dogpile right on Snitch himself. That would be what I want to happen right now. Come on, guys. Come on, come and do this. Get on Snitch, please, and... tragedy, they don't want to do it. Fine, you guys start falling back. You guys can just, actually, you can stay broadly where you are. You're doing a pretty good job, actually. Just stay over there, start tossing some lovely stuff. Oh, they're already breaking. Oh, that's just sad right there. It's so flipping sad. In fact, you know what? Actually, you guys are sort of clustering right now. So, you guys, into your melee mode, please. Getting over there. Getting over there. You guys start actually providing Snitch with a bit of extra support. The drills, meanwhile, should be able to handle all of this business. So, oh, come on, come on, come on. Get around the side, get around the side, get around the side. And momentarily, just need to get into just the right position and activate Drills! Lovely. So these guys are going to be absolutely flipping torn to shreds. Snitch is taking a bit of damage. He's not really supposed to be doing this. You know, taking on giant piles of the enemy. His job's to do assassinating, but he seems to be doing pretty well, so I'll just let him have his fun. And any moment they should be giving up. In fact, that might just be the last one. There we go. I do like, by the way, didn't point this out, he is holding 3 knives. He's got an extra one in his tail, which is just beautiful. There we go. Nice, easy 59 kills right there. Now, let's talk about an old Skaven trick in case you've never come across this before. So, when you take over a settlement, you're allowed to define the level of it. And the very first settlement you take, I would strongly recommend whacking it right up to level 3. Because it lets you skip straight some technology the game's probably not really expecting you to have. It's going to cost you in terms of food and whatever, but it's fine. We will recover from that soon enough. So loot and occupy that straight up to level 3. And that unlocks the Sodding kill scheme, which is a fun new scheme for Clan Eshin. For just 1,000 gold, you get yourself 20% damage to your Night Runners and your Gutter Runners, 10% speed boost to every unit in the army, stalk and snipe for every single army. So in other words, your armies can just move around without being seen, and if you fire on the enemy, they don't automatically get to see where the bullets have come from, which is beautiful. But let's also focus on the Revitalizing Scheme over here, which is again slightly ridiculous. 2,500 gold, and you just restore all of your units in your forces to full health, immediately returning all wounded and recovering characters to the faction. Just basically a magic undo damage button, which is absolutely great, because it really suits the Skaven, because if you've got that up your sleeve, you've got an incentive to potentially retreat from a battle if you might win, but with massive losses. Because if you just retreat having done a bit of damage, then you can just use the Revitalizing Scheme and jump straight back in with a full up army. So, yeah, kind of really suits the Skaven, that one. It's a fun one. Anyway, as I was saying, level 3 settlement, because, here we go. Let's actually get ourselves a construction cavern, if flipping immediately. One more fun thing as well, by the way, this building you start with lets you immediately have access to devious plans. So in technology, you can get fight dirty pretty much straight away. Weapon strength and missile damage for your Night Runners and your Gutter Runners. Very nice. So, next fun quirk to playing is this faction, which is Clan Eshin has got some really wacky recruitment costs that go all over the shop. To be precise, Clan Eshin can only cheaply recruit their own units. Which broadly means the units inside this tree right here. So your Night Runners, your Gutter Runners, and when you get up to it, your Triads and your Death Runners. Those guys, all absolutely fine. Every other unit in the game, plus 200%. Ludicrously expensive. So just so you understand, a basic Clan Rat is 885 gold to recruit. Or 959 for basic Clan Rat Spears, which is stupid. Absolutely catastrophically stupid. In fact, you're probably looking at it thinking, that is insane. That's basically unplayable. This faction is nonsense. No, there's a bit of a fun twist. Because the price of units that aren't your own fluctuates based on your relationship to the other clans. This is the other half of the Shadowy Dealings tab. Here we go, Clan Contracts. So, right now, Clan Pestilence has asked me to spy on Clan Moors. If I do that, my reputation with them will go up, and as a result of that, I'll be able to recruit their units cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. However, that will of course annoy Clan Moors. My reputation with them will go down, meaning, yeah, 1, their units will remain very expensive, but 2, public order will go down across my entire empire. So, you need to pick where you're willing to compromise. Honestly though, there is one very easy answer, because yeah, there's the 4 factions. You've got Moors, you've got Moldar, you've got Skya, and you've got Pestilence. Let's have a little look-see what each of them provides. Clan Moors provides your Clan Rats and your Storm Vermin. Okay, moderately important because you just don't have much in the way of good infantry when you're Skaven, so Storm Vermin are pretty bloody important. Clan Pestilence, meanwhile, they get you your Plague Monks and your Plague Monk Censer Bearers, fine, but they also get you your Plague Claw Catapult, which is an unstoppable kill machine and arguably the best unit in the game, so you're going to be wanting to keep them nice and happy too. Clan Skyer, meanwhile, just provide a ridiculously large number of options, because get them on side, you can cheaply have yourself access to the Warp Fire Throwers, the Warp Grinders, the Poison Wind Globadiers, the Rattling Guns, the Death Globe Bombardiers, the Poison Wind Mortars, we'll get to them in a second, the Warp Lock Jezzails, and also the Doom Wheels, and also the Doom Flares, and also the Warp Lightning Cannons. Meanwhile, the final clan, Clan Moulder, they get you access to Rat Ogres and also the Hellpit Abomination. Rat Ogres are kind of terrible, Hellpit Abomination is fine, but, you know, it only shows up at rank 5, maybe you'll want one of them or something. Basically, screw over Clan Moulder every chance you've got, because their offering is trash next to everyone else. Meanwhile, Skyer, keep them on side under all circumstances, because that's where the fun toys are. On this occasion, though, Clan Pestilence wants me to spy on Moors, which would mean as a result of that, yeah, recruitment costs down for the catapult. I've got catapults incoming soon, so 100% I am willing to do that, yes. So send my sorcerer to go and do that. Absolutely lovely. Plus 5 food, 500 gold. I won't say flipping no. The downside is the sorcerer will go missing for a few turns, but that's fine. My army needs to recover. We need to train some new units. Not a problem. And there we go. Straight away, we've got ourselves up to friendly with Pestilence, meanwhile unfriendly with Moors. So I need to watch that public order. That's going to be more of an issue in the early game. Later game, that won't really matter so much. Also, making Moulder hostile is the most pathetic one too. Yeah, plus 4% cost for buildings. Oh no, 4% additional cost. Whatever shall I do? There's also campaign effects too, so yeah, help out Pestilence, you get yourself plenty of food, annoy them, less food floating around. As for Skyer, bonus to armor if you help them, versus low research rate if you don't. Moulder gets you physical resistance for your lords and embedded heroes, which is not bad. That's not bad at all, but it's not good enough to justify helping them. And yeah, Public Order +2 for Moors, and also the very nice Weapon Strength plus 15%, which is not nothing. That's very significant, so I would say, yeah, screw over Moulder, get everyone else on side if you can. Here we go, perfect. Skyer wants me to spy on Moulder every flipping time. Now, my sorcerer's away for the time being, but I believe I just finished up my... there we go. We've actually got... oh, wow. Okay, didn't even need tier 2 Assassin's Hideout for an assassin, because assassins in this faction are tied to Hidden Lair. So you can have tier 1 assassins in Clan Eshin. That's beautiful. Yeah, I think I'll have one of them, because we can just send him straight off on that mission, and when he comes back, he'll probably have leveled up. So yeah, this mechanic means, especially in the early game, you can end up with some really weird army compositions. So, for example, yeah, Clan Rats are a bit on the expensive side, so I just got rid of that building. And how about instead, rather than actually, you know, having Clan Rats, we just use Gutter Runners, because Gutter Runners are really good. Fire while moving, pretty decent melee stats all things considered. Snare Net means they slow down enemies they hit, which is actually really, really damn useful, so screw it, we'll just have some of them. Now, we've got a perfect contract coming in here. Moors wants me to spy on Moulder, so screw Moulder, and that also would get Moors back out a negative, so I could get rid of that stupid -2 to public order. So, I want to do that, but my agents aren't back yet, only Snitch is available, which is fine, I can get rid of him, and that does let me show off one other thing, which is very important, which is, Snitch is fine, but he's not actually my favourite new lord that just got added in. You see, Snitch has gone missing, so therefore we need to actually select a brand new lord, and here we flipping go. The new Master Assassin Lord. Everyone's got access to these, not just Eshin, but I love these guys. These guys are genuinely brilliant, and I think they're actually better than Snitch himself is, in some ways. They're just fantastic. Because this guy's my favourite sort of assassin. A mixed assassin. He has a really, really flipping powerful missile attack. Starts off with no upgrades at 417. Obviously big old piles of missile damage in there. And poison 2. So by default, depowers anyone they're attacking, which is just absolutely great. 417, good starting point right there. No slouch in melee combat either. 60 melee attack, almost 400 weapon strength already. And again, that's with no upgrades whatsoever. I love these guys. They are squishy. They're very squishy. Armor of 30 is poor. Health pool of 2,766, not so good. But they're just brilliant at killing enemy lords without even bothering to engage with them. And of course, very good at killing monsters, elite infantry, diddly-diddly-dee. Good stuff. And if they do get involved in melee, they've got the Weeping Blade too. So that does help even the score a bit when they're going in with low armor. Ooh, now that's fun right there. 2,200 gold for a Plague Claw catapult. Okay, I'm not gonna say no. To be honest, they're really, really damn good. Okay, army ready. Fight Dirge technology comes online at exactly the right flipping moment. 10% for Night Runners and Gutter Runners. Absolutely spot on. And by the way, I'm happy to drop, another 1,000 on that there sudden kill scheme. Let's just get that activated too. There's another 20% on my Gutter Runners. Absolutely love it. Because, we're swimming in Gutter Runners right now. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's pretty nice stuff right there. And, one catapult. Now, why was I willing to pay over the odds for that? Because I've got myself a plan, you see. Here we go. Me versus a ridiculously large pile of humans. But I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. Because most of this is infantry. And infantry will just flipping melt in the face of a single catapult if I can keep them at a distance. Which I'm pretty confident I can with this many flipping Gutter Runners. This, by the way, is why I'm not 100% convinced to buy the new Eshin Sorcerer, because, as he's filling the same role as the Plague Priest is very good at spawning infantry onto the field, which the Eshin Sorcerer doesn't do. And when infantry can be really, really damn expensive, that can be really useful. So arguably I would much rather actually have a Plague Priest right now, but screw it, we'll make do. So, I've no idea if this is going to work or not. Basically, I'm just going to bum rush the first army. Just like, tossing artillery in their vague direction, hitting them with giant piles of Gutter Runners. We got slingers, they'll be able to take the high ground. I've got 2 stalking heroes, desperately trying to kill their hero, who I can't see right now, but he's somewhere around here. Screw it! We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, so you guys just head over in this direction. You guys just, start, heading forward. Have fun. Start tearing these guys apart if you can. And in comes, there we go. That's the Plague Claw catapult. In comes all of the slings. This is good stuff. This is good stuff right here. You guys just get a little bit further forward. I need to actually toggle off the actual automatic skirmish. Otherwise, you guys won't be able to do your flipping jobs. So you guys just start doing that. Just, don't get too close. Don't get too close. Now, where's their leader? We need to get on top of their leader as fast as possible. Here we go. I see him. So, what we're going to do is we're going to have our assassin just toss some poison in that direction. This guy can just actually send some throwing stars in that direction. And we do also have, of course, don't forget, plenty of the menace below, just to keep everything nice and distracted. Huge amounts of damage being done over here. You guys just, fall back just a little bit more in this direction. You guys just, you can probably move forward a bit at this point, just the tiniest amount. This is slightly ridiculous, but I'm sure it's all going to work. It's going to be fine. Right, so you guys just start running. You can easily outrun all of these guys, so momentarily, you should be ready to start absolutely shredding all of this. Absolutely lovely. Right, you guys are at a nice distance right now. That all works for me. Start firing down over to there. How's your lord doing right now? Okay, doing fine. Probably time for you to actually get in there and just shank him. Their lord is definitely isolated. So 2-on-1, we should get him down. And with Weeping Blade as well, he's going to have, his armor is going to be in trouble moment-flippin'-terribly. In fact, have we actually hit him yet? I feel like it. There we go. That's his armor gone. Right, so he'll be dead in a minute. You guys, back off. Honestly, these guys can fight. These guys can fight. If they get caught in melee for a moment, that's actually fine. Doesn't matter. They're absolutely A-okay. So you guys are absolutely A-okay. Their lord is going to be dead momentarily. He can't stand up to too much of this. There we go. I think he might have just been... Yep, he's killed. Right, finish off these 2 guys, then start retreating. Start knocking out these guys. You guys are... Aha. They're starting to fire at me from the other angle. That's all absolutely fine. That's all 100% under control. Back off over here. Move in this direction. Take out some of these lads. And at this point, their army is starting to shatter. It's starting to fall apart. Turn some fire over onto these guys. Break them, please. Luckily, this guy fires while moving. I love fire while moving. Fire while moving is the best. So you guys just start pulling around over here. And you need to start moving in this direction. Just start firing over there. My actual main infantry corps has not even been touched yet. This is working surprisingly well. Maybe not surprisingly. You know, it's not a bad army, but it's still, it's unconventional. We'll say that. And do I need to actually send a few more? Yes, screw it. Menace below. Get the menace below in there. Just getting over here. Shatter these guys because, yeah, their armor will be destroyed momentarily. That's all absolutely fine. Start pulling out. You guys start moving out as well. Do I want you guys to actually start moving forward? Yes, I wouldn't mind just keeping you preoccupied for a minute. Skirmish mode off, just so I control the skirmishing for the minute. And yeah, they're backing off at this point. Good, 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 good. Already there's damage being done. That is just menace below. Don't you worry about that. Start backing off. That's a good hit at the rear over there. Where are my actual leaders, by the way? You guys are in good shape, aren't you? Yes, yes you are. In which case, just start getting round the back. Just travel around together. Clear out those guys. Find the next leader. And start moving backwards when you can. Just start moving over in this direction. And yeah, they're going to just slowly start doing some good work. And now we've got isolated people. Because they're desperately trying to chase down these skirmishers. So as a result of that, their actual archers and whatnot are really, really vulnerable at the rear. So that will do right there. Then we can just start slowly pulling back in this direction. These guys doing a good job. You guys, where is their leader? I don't know where their leader is. He's somewhere around here. I'm just going to send my leader right into the middle of their army. You'll find them sooner or later. I'm sure it'll be fine. You guys start pulling back. You guys are already pulling back nicely. Everybody just focus fire on this one group, please. And, oh, look at that. Look at them flipping melt. Look at that. That's beautiful. The power of the gutter runners. Right flipping there. Love it. Right, you guys, by the way, just doing a really good job drawing all this away. I don't know where their bloody leader is. He's got to be around here somewhere. We're just running around dealing with all of this. Just get on top of these guys. Break them too. Everything's fine. And actually, we're not only going to win this, we're going to win this basically without taking any losses, which is great. And, oh, look at the slings. The slings have got the armor piercing, so they are very, very strong right now. Stronger than you might be expecting. Oh, you're going to try and fire at me, are you? No, 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 no. No, you flipping don't. Back off, then we'll put some fire over there. My lords are fine, right? Yeah, my lords appear to be okay. There's a bit of trouble at the back over here. Might just send myself, yeah, some reinforcements. Just use menace below to reinforce my own lords right there. You guys are... Guys. Stop it. Just stop what you're doing right now. Stop that. Just shoot over there if you'd be so kind. That's absolutely a-okay. Focus fire on these guys. How are you guys doing? You guys are doing just fine. Focus a bit of fire over there. These guys are melting. Focus all firepower on these archers. Hang on, just get over there. Let's just enjoy this up close and personal. And, oh dear, their archers are starting to fall apart very quickly. Ooh, some good drama dives there. Good drama dives. And at this point, I think they're a bit on the... They're a bit on the screwed side. Yeah, I've just got some leaders back here. I'm sure it's fine. Because they've got dodge. So they're not really taking much damage from this light fire. It's great. Don't know where their leader is. Oh! They didn't have one. Because this was like, you know, reinforcements from the city. It was a garrison. Okay, I've been hunting for a leader that doesn't exist. And finally, the last few units are actually starting to get a bit close to me here. So this might be an actual time to, you know, deploy some, I don't know, infantry or something. Crazy, I know, but it might be worth a shot. Nope, never mind. They've just given the flip up. Oh, that worked out even better than I thought it would. And I love the fact this campaign makes you just basically come up with a totally weird army you'd never normally use, but it actually works really well. And apparently we just killed enough enemies to immediately win Whirl of the Weeping Blades. Absolutely spot on. So that is, yeah, that's a vortex I cast around myself because I just start whirling around murdering people. Great! I guess that must be faction-wide because, yeah, Snitch wasn't even in this army, so who knows what just happened there. Oh, go on, we just need to finish off the remnants to take the city, and at this point, oh, guys, you're not going to enjoy this. I promise you, you're really flipping not. And, oh, we've even got everything. We've got everything coming in right now. This is good. This is good stuff. Here we go. Slings coming in. Assassin round the side. They've still got a handful of archers, but nothing too major. They're going to start falling apart. No trouble whatsoever. A couple of these guys didn't take much damage in the last fight, so just back away as soon as we've got a bit of damage. Focus all firepower on this guy, please. Let's just focus all firepower on him. Okay, so he's dead now. Oh, Gutter Runners are good in general. I cannot wait in this campaign to have Gutter Runner Poison, because those guys are ludicrous, because they've already got Snare Net, and Poison slows them down even slower. Oh, they're just falling apart. They're just yap. There's nothing they can do. This is actually working so well. There we go. The army's pretty much ready to just keep on marching. Absolutely lovely. So yeah, normally what I do with Skaven is I'd have a lovely line of artillery, and then just a line of snipers, then just a line of rattling guns, and then just a handful of storm vermin at the back, just in case the enemy got through. But actually, I might stop using the storm vermin, because this little playthrough today has really convinced me. Actually, say 5 Gutter Runners with poison might be more effective at keeping the enemy busy, keeping them dancing, slowing them down. It might actually suit the artillery style a bit better, so I imagine Clan Eshin at their best will probably be 5 Gutter Runner Slingers, then a hell of a giant pile of artillery behind it, with a Master Assassin floating around to assassinate the Lord, and I'd recommend a Plague Priest over the Eshin Sorcerer, just because the ability to spam infantry if you need it just to keep your artillery safe is really, really damn nice. Maybe 2 Storm Vermin with Halberds, just in case of cavalry, but yeah, this has opened my eyes a bit. I really like this campaign. I really like the new mechanics. I really like the new units. Speaking of which, one last one we do need to mention. Poisoned Wind Mortars. Locked to tier 4. This thing is sexy. It is so damn sexy. So, you know you've got Poison Wind Globadiers. Pretty damn good, but you know, slow, short range. This is basically that, but at a ludicrous 250 range. And the nice thing about this is, though as artillery it's not as powerful as a Plague Claw Catapult, it does have some really, really nice advantages. Like speed of 38 is really good for artillery, because your average bit of human or lizard infantry is speed 30 or so. You can literally run forward, bombard the enemy line, and then retreat. You don't have the disadvantages of maneuverability that you'd have with other forms of artillery, which is really, really damn nice. Ammunition of 14 is a bit on the low side, but it's good stuff, and the Poison Wind effect means damage over time for 10 seconds. So that's pretty damn effective against pretty much anything, actually. And even more importantly, as a bit of a footnote on the end of the Poison Wind Mortars, new Regiment of Renown, the Avalanche Mortars, Death Globe Mortars. So like Death Globe Bombardiers, except at ludicrous, ludicrous range. Look at that missile damage right there. 404 missile damage. Range, 250. Again, a really impressive speed. Decent armor, in fact, if you get caught there. These things are ludicrous kill beasts. I love them. And that damage is overwhelmingly armor piercing and explosive armor piercing. So it basically just deletes anything. Okay, custom battle time, because I can't not show these off. They're too amazing. Just because they've got one of my favourite visual effects in the game, which is, when they fire, it's not just a blob of poisoned or deathwind or whatever. It actually does, hang on, just a moment. It basically is a little firework. It's going to burst into... Look at that. And look at what it does. Look at what it does. They're dead. That unit is just dead. It's all dead. Everybody's already dead. That's it. That's it. That unit's gone. That unit is not there anymore. It's just beautiful. It's absolutely flipping beautiful. So we're just going to lay down the fire. Lay down the fire. Send forward my actual hero. Just to... Oh, don't you flipping shoot those guys, you bastard. And just look at it. This army's just melted. It's basically gone. And okay, I'll admit, the value of this army was a little bit higher, but just look at it. It just deletes units. It's insane. And the really nice thing, of course, is it's mortars. Unlike, say, a Plague Claw Catapult, which struggles at short range, it needs to have proper line of sight, mortars can basically just keep firing, even after you've engaged hand-to-hand, because they can just lob a little shot over the top of you. So they're much, much better in an extended melee. So, oh, I love these guys. They're just fantastic. Basically, yeah, I need to do some testing as to whether these guys have potentially overtaken the Plague Claw Catapult as the most ridiculous unit in the game, but I wouldn't bet against it, and they're just so pretty as well. Anyway, that's the Shadow and the Blade. Not out just yet. This was an early little preview thing, but... oh my goodness, yes, 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 yes. Some fantastic new factions, some fantastic new mechanics, some fantastic new units, and just in general, Total War Warhammer 2 has shaped out to be such a damn good game. 2 years on, it's still evolving. It's still getting better. There's still so many interesting, cool new ideas. I'm so looking forward to Warhammer 3. That's got to be coming up in the not too distant future, because this thing's been getting support for over 2 years at this point, so sooner or later, they're going to want to move over, and given how polished this game has ended up, I cannot flip and wait. So, link in the description below in case you're interested. As I say, not out just yet, out in just a few days' time. Very, very good, worth giving a look to see at. Warhammer 2 in general, definitely give it a look see if you're interested in any of the old Total Wars. It's a really, really damn good one. So, this will be back in the not too distant future, whenever there is more to see. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been many a true nerd, and this has been The Shadow and the Blade. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
We've all learnt a valuable lesson here. When people have the zombie plague, don't allow them into confined spaces with you. We should just actually, like, use cannons. Do we have cannons? Use the cannons. Oh, they've got a big hammer. That's what the noise is. And a pirate's just rammed them. Okay, I think we're in a traffic jam on the sea.